Hello and welcome to Module 3, University Characteristics and Attrition. So this week we will start off with discussing a recent TEXA publication, and then we will go onto the web and look at some university strategies to help improve retention rates. So the recent TEXA publication, so TEXA is the Tertiary Education Quality and Standards Agency. The publication highlighted several university characteristics that correlate with high student attrition rates. So attrition rates are higher at universities when the university is smaller, the university has a larger proportion of external enrolments, the university admits a greater proportion of students on the basis of VET qualifications, the proportion of postgraduate enrolments is lower, or the proportion of senior academic staff is lower. So following that, this week we'll take the opportunity to explore current retention strategies that are being carried out by higher education providers. In order to do this, you can simply pop onto any web browser. So I usually just use Chrome or Safari. One second. Okie doke. So you can just start out by popping onto Google, and you can really use any search terms. Today I'll use university retention strategies. There we go. So don't feel like you have to do focus on Australia. You can focus on other countries. That would definitely liven up our forum discussions. So please feel free to do that. Okay, so just with the search terms university retention strategies, we've already come across retention strategy from Griffith University, University of Tasmania. There's some from Hanover, Curtin University, Flinders University, so there's quite a lot to choose from. So let's choose Griffith. It's another Queensland university. So this will be interesting to have a look at in terms of, this is from 2012-2014. So let's just go back. That's a little bit old. So let's pop onto University of Tasmania. So considering some of the TEXA points that we've already looked at today, such as the university being smaller, so University of Tasmania would definitely be classified as one of the smaller universities in Australia. I don't think it's has a really embedded external student population or anything like that. I don't think it would be comparable to, for example, Central Queensland University or the University of Southern Queensland. They both have extremely high external student populations and also have quite high student attrition rates. So in terms of having a look at this, it will be interesting to see. So retention and success strategies implementation plan. So let's have a look, just jump down onto page 8. Okie doke. So strategic goals. So they're talking about a number of points that we have already kind of touched on. So not only from the TEXA discussion that we've kind of touched on today, but also the university standards paper, which we have talked about in modules 1 and 2, and we'll also be discussing that further in module 4. So we can see that the principles that they're trying to develop further are to enable students preparedness for university study, to provide an effective welcome and transition experience, so that was definitely touched on in TEXA, to ensure promotion and advice to students about courses, support and services and key milestones. So we definitely discussed that point last week. So that was in terms of, I think, providing quite transparent information to students so that they actually understand what courses they're enrolling in the first place. enhance student engagement with their learning and through the quality of the learning experience, to build a sense of belonging and increase opportunities for student engagement with their peers and with co-curricular campus and online experience. So it's interesting, they're definitely must be providing some either blended or external online student offerings to promote health and well-being amongst the student community. So I think that touches on one of the attrition points where mental and physical health was quite a strong factor for student attrition. So that must be the university trying to, I guess, further support students in that area. To implement systems and processes for the early detection and intervention of students at risk, and to ensure the evaluation of retention strategies underpinned by data and informing ongoing improvement. So we definitely touched on that last week in terms of using data to really support different strategies being used. So the data being used, I would assume, probably be a combination of CHESM data. So seeing if students are enrolled one year, are they not enrolled next year? So standard attrition data, or looking at the adjusted rate. Are they enrolled this year? If they're not enrolled next year, they've gone to either different universities or changed to a different course. They could, where are we? Other data could be looking at learning and teaching, for example, learning analytics through their learning management system. They could also be using enterprise systems data, such as the university where I work at uses PeopleSoft. So that is looking at, for example, student demographics. If the student has a low ATAR and are entering university, they would probably have a much higher rate of attrition than somebody that has a higher ATAR because they'd have higher academic preparedness. That would just be an assumption that would be made. So a retention strategy could look at focusing on students with low admission scores, or looking at students using vocational training as an entry pathway into higher education, because they often also have issues with academic preparedness. Some of the other data, demographic data. So we also know in terms of student retention, a group that often has issues are students that are low socioeconomic. That's not only Australia, that's kind of worldwide. So how can we provide more equitable opportunities for those students so that they're not having to work a lot of hours, they have some financial support from the institution, and they actually have the time to study and succeed. So yeah, it will be very interesting to have a further look here at what the University of Tasmania is doing. So let's just have a quick read through. So a strategy is ensure pathways for prospective domestic and international students are clear and optimize articulation and progression. And then they've got the actions, accountability, performance measures, and timeframes. I really like how they've actually set this up. You really know, I guess, who's responsible for taking the strategy to the next level and implementing the strategy, which is really great. Yeah, prepare all students with the core learning skills and English language to increase chance of student success. I wonder if they're covering mathematics at all in terms of their preparation, because lack of preparedness in mathematics seems to be an issue at a lot of Australian institutions. Yeah. So this will be, I'm looking forward to having a further look through this one. I'll be interested in whatever ones you all find this week, and yeah, please chat in the discussion forums. What strategies, if you can find a strategy that is a little bit out of the box, that would be very interesting to have a read of. Also, maybe talk about the characteristics of the university that you're actually looking at. So what we covered this week in terms of the size of the university, they have a lot of online versus on-campus students, part-time versus full-time, and whether you feel that the strategies being chosen do cover off some of the trends discussed in the Texas paper that we covered the points off earlier in this module. So really looking forward to seeing you all on the discussion forums. Please don't hesitate to email me if you have any questions. I will see you next week. Thank you.